Thank you. Who's in here? Anybody? I'm looking for some peoples to roll up. I don't know why I always. Oh, is that it? Okay, let me see about this. Hey, one person in the room. So let me tell you, I'm getting this message about some nosy people. There's some really nosy people around you, and it's aggravating you because it's like, why are you so nosy if you're not willing to contribute? Why are you so nosy? There's too many people in your life that always want to know something, but they're not trying to do anything to contribute to much of anything. They just want to know everything. So why do they want to know if they're not trying to do anything to contribute at all? So this is something that many of you have dealt with in your life. People always wanting to know what's going on, but not willing to contribute to any growth in your life. So the thing is to be able to nip that in the butt. Nip it in the bud. I think that's the right way to say it. So that they know not to come snooping around you looking for answers to questions that they shouldn't ask. I feel as though many of you have issues with this, and it's actually very uncomfortable to deal with, I think, for some of you, because a lot of you that deal with this, it's like your family, or it could be just individuals that are not really intertwined with you like that. They're not that close to you to be asking too many questions. And I feel like many of you have been dealing with this type of energy for a while. And some of you are having a hard time dealing with it because there's too many people that they want to know a lot more than they need to, but they're not contributing to anything. So it's like, if you want to know all of this information, then you have to have some type of, or you should have some type of desire to improve the situation or be there in some type of way. So if you have anything that's going on that's like personal in your life, that you, hey, if you have anything going on personal in your life that you're working on, like something that means something to you, don't tell people that's just nosy. And you know those people that you'll tell them something about what's going on with you, and then instead of them like helping you figure out different ways to do it, they're kind of like telling you the reasons why it's not going to work. If you have people like that in your life that are telling you reasons why something is not going to work, instead of trying to help you figure out ways to make it work, or, you know, just different options to take. It's like you want people in your life that can expand your mind, not shrink it. I think there's too many people that are around many of you that just like to shrink you down instead of build you up. So this is something that has to stop, because there's so many people that want to know more than they need to, and they're really not willing to put in any effort to contribute to the change that you want to see in your life, as well as what you may even want for others around you in your life. Okay, so that's the energy I'm picking up right now. It's kind of like, if you notice that you're sharing information with someone, or if you have a place that you want to go to and you want someone to, you know, come with you, you know, like, oh, you want to come with me? I'm going to go, you know, learn something. I'm going to go see something. And they're like, oh no, I don't want to go. Like, they don't want to do anything that has to do with growth. Be careful of those types of people, because how are you going to grow with people that are not interested in growth? They clearly just, you know, tell you straight up, like, no, I don't want to go do that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in anything that has to do with growth. And it doesn't matter who they are. It really doesn't. It could be someone very close to you. It could be your brother, your sister. But if you notice that they're not willing to grow, then it's time for you to separate yourself from them. I think a lot of times we try to hold on tight to individuals that are not good for us anymore just because of the title they have in our life. You know? Hey, first time. How you doing? Yeah, so I just want you guys to don't be so quick to just try to hold people in your life that don't really deserve a place anymore. There's no need for that. There's no need for them, you know, because they're just going to stress you out anyway. Either way you look at it, they're just going to stress you out. And you're going to wish that you had that's another thing. People like this can make you feel wrong about positive change in your life. So if you tell them about something that you're doing in like a positive or going into a positive direction, they'll start to make you feel like something is wrong with it, you know? So keep this in mind when you have something new that you want to do or something that you're interested in. If you already know that this person is just not into that, or even if you try to tell them something about a direction that you want to go in and they're not willing to hear you out and speak to you about it, at that point, don't tell them anymore. Don't tell them anything. Leave them in the darkness where they should be, because clearly they're not going to be a part of this change that you are looking forward to in your life. They're not going to be a part of it, so it's not worth it. Okay, so I want you guys to keep this in mind at all times when you're dealing with people, because as soon as they show you that they're not interested in growth and they kind of like almost mock you for the change that you want to make, then you already know what type of person this is. You already know where they're coming from, and you already know that they're not healthy for you. Okay? So, this is a quick message here. I don't know if I want to get tarot. I almost feel like I do. I think Spirit is calling me to get the tarot cards. Let me get them. Let me see. Let me see what the message is, because I don't use them that much with you guys, so I'm being called to use them right now. So let me use them. Let me use them and see what Spirit says. You know, I've just been channeling, so sometimes I gotta pick up these cards, you know. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Spirit, come through. I heard the nosy neighbors. Does somebody have nosy neighbors? Or just nosy posies in their life? Nosying around? Sticking their nose in places that it shouldn't be? Let's see. Oh, I'm picking up like they only are interested when it comes to like something that's going to, if they feel that it could benefit them, then they're interested. They want to know. But if you're talking from a perspective of like mental growth, that's when they don't want to talk about it. But if you're talking about something that could benefit them in some way, then they'll want to talk about it. I just feel like that's not real support. You know, that's not very supportive when people come at you like that, in that way. Because it's like, yeah, if you have something that I want or that I could benefit from, okay, now I want to be around you. But it's not, that's not a real person, because you want someone that's like down with you either way, right? That's like someone being well off and then everybody wants to be around them, including those that didn't have any time for them. Like, you know, but then as soon as they start doing well, then everyone comes out the woodworks, wanting to spend time, wanting to call, wanting to talk to you. But it's like, where were you before? I didn't see you before. Why are you coming around now? Why you want to come around now? Ugh. Right? I find that that's something that happens a lot in our community, and it's sad, but it's true. It's like people want to reap your rewards, but they don't want to be there to help you actually get it. They don't want to be there to support you, not even with their ear, when it comes to you being on that process to actually get the riches or the wealth or the abundance or the blessings, whatever it is that's good. They don't want to be there for that part. They want to be there for the end result. Then they come, all of a sudden they call in the phone. They want to know. They want to know about the good stuff that they can enjoy, right? But when it comes to the hard work that has to be put in, they don't want to know about that. They don't want to know when you want to vent about something that happened. Then they got to go. You know, it's that energy that I'm picking up here. They don't want to be there for the hard work. They don't want to support you. But when the rewards come, then they want to reap them. So they want a piece of the pie, but don't want to help you make it. Crab in a basket. Right. Trying to pull you down. Trying to catch you slipping. Or they trying to make you slip. One or the other. So it's like Spirit is saying, no matter who this is or who these people are, walk away from them once you see it. And don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself in this. You don't have to be like, wild with it. You could just simply, dismiss them. I think the dismissing of a person doesn't always have to be extreme. It doesn't. As long as you get your point across and they're not affecting you anymore, then I don't feel like it's something that you should feel guilty about. Because I know one of you said that to me earlier, that when you speak on things that mean something to you, you end up feeling like you're hurting someone's feelings. And you should never really feel that way. If you know that you're speaking from a place of good intention, you shouldn't have to feel like you're hurting someone's feelings, because you know it's coming from a good place. It just reminds me of someone asking for something from you but not really appreciating it. It's like, so you shouldn't have access to what you're asking me for, because you don't even know how to appreciate what you're asking for. It's given like that vibe. People say they want all this wealth and all these blessings, but the same people that want it so bad and get angry at God because they don't have it are the ones that don't know how to respect it and don't know how to maintain it. And I feel like those who actually use their mind to think about the fact that if you're not ready for a blessing, you will quickly lose it. So you need those lessons. If you don't have those lessons before you get the blessings, the blessing will dwindle away. It'll disappear like it never came. So that's why it's so important for us to go through like lessons, learning, because if you don't go through that learning, when those blessings come, you won't keep the blessings. Just as fast as you receive them, they'll be gone. So when things happen in life and it's a struggle, it's always good to figure it out and push through it, because when you do, you'll learn so much and you'll be more equipped next time around. Like when something else happens in life, it won't be so, what's the word? It's almost like you won't feel so bombarded by it, because you've seen something like this before. It's like, I've seen this before. I know I kind of like, this resembles something that I've experienced in the past. So I feel like I can handle it. I feel like I could do it. And then you start to figure out different ways that you could approach situations that once before seemed like you couldn't get through it. Just think about how many times you thought that you weren't going to be able to get through something, and then this surge of energy just popped out and you were able to get through it. And then if you had gave up on yourself, just imagine what would have happened or what could have happened. So it's like a reminder of how much you actually did get through. I feel like this is a good method to remind yourself of how strong you are and how resilient you are and how mindful you are. I think many of you are very mindful, but you might not think about mindfulness so much. Let me look up the definition of mindfulness real quick. Because mindfulness is it's almost like, when I just think about it off the top, it's really like digging into your consciousness to retrieve different options of how to approach a situation in order to get the best result. When I just think about it off the top. Hi, hey. That's what I think about, but I'm going to look up the definition. Define mindfulness. Okay, it says the quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. Yeah, it's like mindfulness is awareness. When you're mindful, it's like you have to, like, you could use your like an archive in your mind. Usually archives are they reference documents that are held in like a cloud or like a saved on a file from things that happened a long time ago. And in our life, we have like an archive in our conscious, in our conscious mind. So we could use all of the information that's already stored within our mind. And I just heard that includes all of our senses. We could use that to help us in the present and in the future, because we have our own intelligence that we can go by and live by, and we could use the knowledge that we have now for future events. And when you really think about it, look how much you already have. And I just feel like sometimes we forget. Many of you forget about how much you know. Many of you guys know so much. And you be thinking that you don't know nothing, some of you. And that could be from projections of people that are like stagnant in your life, making you think less of yourself. However, when you actually really approach a situation and try what I'm talking about, like take into consideration what I'm saying, you'll be surprised what you come up with. You know, you'll come up with all of these different ways to approach one situation when you didn't even realize you had all that in you. But it's just, if you get into panic mode when something abrupt happens in your life and you're like feeling like, I don't know what to do, that's when you have a problem. But if you are able to just take a deep breath and let it out and just sit and think. Just sit and think. Nobody has to say anything. Nobody has to do much of anything. It's just sit and think about, what can I do? And trust yourself. Trust that you know what you can do and that you can actually take action to make it happen. Because it starts with trusting yourself. That's what it starts with. Do you guys feel like you trust yourself? Give me an 8 in the chat if you feel like you trust yourself and you trust like your intuition and you trust your own knowledge that you have within you. Do you find that you trust yourself when it comes to making like tough decisions? You feel like you trust yourself? That's good, Eleanor. That's good. Who else feels like they trust themselves? I like to see that. You trust yourself? So, okay, Sarah, yes. Trust yourself. This makes me excited. Trust yourself. Now, there's a couple of other people, I don't know. Some of you that just came in the chat. I almost said in the cat. Some of you that just came in the chat, do you feel like you trust yourself? Do you feel like you trust yourself? Do you feel like you trust your intuition? Do you feel like it? Yes? Give me an 8 in the chat if you feel like you trust yourself and you trust your intuition. And you trust the archive in your mind that you have. Because we all have knowledge from the past that we hold. It's just inside of us in our conscious mind, sitting there waiting to be retrieved, to be used for something. It took me a very long time and a lot of falling on my face. Me too. That's how it goes. That's a part of the process. We have to fall first before we can stand up straight. Look, I'm slouching. Let me sit up straight. Let me sit up straight. Okay? You gotta represent the fact that we're not crooked no more. We straight, right? The sooner you learn to trust yourself, the better. It's true, because when you don't trust yourself, you start to look for answers in everyone else around you. And then most of the time, when you're still in that growth stage, the people around you, they don't have the answers. They do not have the answers, especially if they're doing things, and how can I put this? Especially if they're doing things that are not conducive to their growth. You can ask those people, they're going to have you going backwards. Yes, absolutely. So I'm glad to hear that many of you are trusting yourself and trusting your intuition, because I tell you, like, that's literally one of the first steps, is trusting yourself. When you could trust yourself, you don't really waste so much time. I think we waste a lot of time when we allow ourselves to get nervous. You know that feeling of just feeling nervous, and you're just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to ask or what to look for. I don't know. But when you actually give yourself time and you think, you actually do come up with solutions for yourself. But you have to let yourself get to that point instead of panicking. I feel like many people panic instead of actually trying to learn different ways that can make their lives easier. When you think about different ways during hard times, and you educate yourself, and also you try to have yourself around people that actually are good for you, like good people. That's another thing. Sometimes it's hard to find good people, but when you do have good people in your life, it can change your frequency. So if you notice that it's a lot, it has a lot to do with people. That's why I'm always talking about making sure that you pay attention to those that are in your life. I don't, and that's okay. You'll get there. Yeah, you have to really look at things from a lighthearted perspective, and make decisions easier for yourself. When you make decisions easier for yourself, and you just say, okay, is that good for me, or is it bad for me? If it's good for you, keep it. If it's bad for you and you know it's affecting you in a negative way, throw it in the trash. Okay, just toss it in the trash. Marry at all. Okay, so see, in this time when you feel like that, Eleanor, because I can't say that, how can I put this? Because I know what you mean when you say you feel like you don't have good people in your life, because that happens sometimes. And when you have those hard times where you do feel like you're completely by yourself, it just illuminates the blessings that have been bestowed upon your life. Your soul, I feel like people that go through the most hurt and pain have the biggest calling, because in order to be able to be ready for the blessings, you have to go through a lot to be able to know what to do with them when they come. If you don't go through anything and you get blessed, you won't be able to actually do good with your blessing. It also reminds me of like children that have wealthy parents, right? And the parents never really taught them how to build when it comes to investing and when it comes to money, and they don't really know what to do. So if the parents pass on and they inherit all that money, they just blow it, and then in a couple of or a few years it could be all gone after the parents worked so hard for it. That's what it makes me think about. It gives me like that same energy. You know what I mean? Because we have to learn how to hold on to the blessings and how to make them grow. It's about elevating, not eliminating. It's not about just siphoning. If you don't know what to do with what you have, you'll lose it. You'll lose it. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. We have to learn to be willing to go through the rough, and because we go through rough terrain. We all experience the rocky road. We all do. So many times you might feel like you're alone, but there are others that deal with the same type of pain, but it's in different ways. Or maybe it could be different levels of pain, but it's tough. It's life. Earth is tough. This is a very tough realm to endure. But it's like once you learn how to uplift yourself and you learn how to make a way for yourself, things become easier. But it's like, I just heard, if you need help, you have to ask. Because we need help sometimes, and sometimes it's like hard. Because I know I'm somebody like that. You know, growing up, sometimes it's like you have this thing in you where you don't want to ask anybody for anything, because you know how when you use your intellect, it's like you know how people could be. If you ask somebody for something, they give it to you and then they want to throw it in your face later. So it makes you not really want to ask. You want to get it on your own. And that makes you not want to ask. But I think it's really about who is it that you're asking and what are you asking for. If you're asking for something because you really need it and because you're trying to elevate yourself, I feel like that's a valid reason to ask for help. You know, because sometimes when someone like you all actually need help, and then you ask someone, they might put you in the category with a bunch of other people that didn't do anything with the gift that was given to them. But that's not right either. And that's something that we have to recognize does happen. But it doesn't mean that there's no one that can actually assist you or guide you or help you to see a different way out of your situation. I feel like there's always a way. It's just about allowing yourself to become acclimated to it by asking questions and just getting to know other ways of solving the problem, because there's problems everywhere that need to be solved. Struggle to ask, but if you don't ask, you don't get. Sometimes it's true. And I know I can understand why it's a struggle, because people funny style. And usually at that point, it's like your family. The family be funny style. But then that same family that was funny style with you, they need you later. Yes. Yeah, exactly. You just have to keep going no matter how hard it gets, because you know that the blessing is coming. That's how you have to look at it. You know, the time for me to relax and calm down is coming. And you have to remind yourself, like, this time is coming for me to relax and not have to deal with all of this chaos and stress. It is just temporary. Remind yourself, this is only temporary. You know, it's only temporary. And then set yourself up to be able to fend for yourself. Like, you create, you know, if there's anything that you have in mind where you can create to present to the public, then you can. Like, you know, if you want to start a channel, or if you have something to say, if there's something that means something to you that you want to talk about, that same thing that means something to you could mean something to someone else. And that's how you magnetize your soul family in that way. That's how it happens. When you speak on things that mean something to you, they don't just mean something only to you, even though you may feel like that in the beginning. There's many people that feel the same way you feel. And that's when you magnetize your soul family. Ask them for help. My family is big time. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way, Eleanor, because I said in one of the previous readings, I really believe that our family are like our practice fight. Because family, sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes it's like you really feel like you're in a boxing ring. Who is who with the messages? You can tell who is who with the messages. What messages exactly? You mean like what people share, like their messages that they give? You can tell where they're coming from. Is that what you mean, Lewis? Can't tell who is who with the messages. Oh, you can't tell? Oh, yeah. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Lewis. I can't tell who's who with the messages. But I just know that family, sometimes the family members that we end up getting locked up with, it's rough. It can get very rough. And then you have to learn how to navigate that. And then try your best to make it work if it can, but sometimes it doesn't work. And then you just have to move on. Like, you know, you just have to move on from it. And that's just something we have to, like, get accustomed to and get used to, because it's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's just something that we have to learn and be willing to learn and grow regardless of anything. When you accept the fact that there's going to be things in life that we're not going to know. That's just like an automatic. But it's important for us to not just sit there and say, oh, I don't know, so I'm not going to do anything. It's, oh, I don't know, so let me find out. I don't know how to do something, so let me find out. You don't want to get into that point of just feeling helpless and hopeless, because that's when you really fall. As long as you keep moving and you're in motion, you really can't go wrong, because the ocean is flowing. It's always flowing. So there's always something that you're going to pick up on the way along. Like, you know, when you think about a wave and then you think about everything that's in the ocean, you know how waves just carry things that are in the ocean. They just carry it. And if you catch the right wave, then you're going to have access to abundance. You're going to have access to resources that can benefit you. It's just about continuing to move and continuing to reach out and look for what it is that you need. You look for it, you know, look for what it is that would be beneficial to you, and put yourself in that space. When you put yourself in a space to get what you need, those needs will be what's the word? The needs that you need will be there for you to accept. Let me put it like that. Whatever you need will be there for you to accept, but you just have to put yourself in the spaces where that can happen. Okay? You see what I mean? Like, just by doing research, I need to hear this. Yes, yes. Wolf equals flow, backwards equals. You know, I never thought about that first time. I like wordplay. Yeah, I like that. And you know, I have a special experience with the wolf. Like today, I don't know which one is ours on the dates. What? Louis, what are you saying to me today? Every message from the last one, I'm like, huh? What you say? What you talking about? What date? What you trying to do? Where you going? You got a date? You got a date? Who you going on a date with? Yeah, but we just have to keep going. We can't give up. We have to keep going and keep building ourselves up to learn. And as you learn and you keep moving, you'll know which way to go. You know, you'll let your feelings tell you which way to go, and you'll catch the flow. You know, you catch the wave. So, like, what on the tarot? What's the date on the tarot? Oh, check him out. First time, you always checking the window. What you looking for out that window? Louis, do you want to learn tarot? Is that what you mean? Looking out the window. You want to learn tarot, Louis? I feel like the best tarot readers are the ones who actually know how to use their intuition. If you don't know how to use your intuition, you're not really reading tarot. You're not really connected to spirit. They're all no. They're all no. Yeah. You drive crazy. I can't with y'all. Y'all funny. Yeah, so be mindful, because mindfulness saves lives. Yours and other people around you. Mindfulness saves lives. Mindfulness is just a beautiful thing, because we can actually retrieve all of this beautiful information that we already have in our mind to use in order to catapult us to our future. You know, however you see yourself, that's what I find so amazing about us. We're so magical, because however you see yourself now is not permanent. You know, if you want more in your life, you can have that. But you just have to prepare yourself for it by doing the work on yourself and on your mind, you know, and being able to ground yourself. Because if you don't ground yourself, you will let everything around you make you fall. When you ground yourself, no matter what's going on around you, you'll still be standing strong and tall. It doesn't matter what happens around you, you'll still keep going. Yeah, but that's the message that I wanted to tell you guys. I wanted to tell you guys that you know, be mindful and trust your archives, because you already have information within you. And even if you don't know everything, because nobody knows everything. I don't even know everything. There's too much stuff to know everything. But you use what you know to your advantage, and you do research about what you don't know so that you can gain the knowledge that you need to move forward. And take time learning new skills. When you learn new skills, you become valuable, and you know, you put yourself in spaces. Like, say, let me give an example. Say, for instance, you wanted to become a game designer, right? So you find a class on, there's so many places you could find courses. I'm just going to say you find a random course somewhere on the internet, and it's like a 6-month course. You take the course, right? And I'm going to say they have a payment plan. I'm trying to really paint the picture. They have a payment plan. You do the payment plan. You get the course. You finish the course. Then you go to like one of those gaming conventions, and you just mingle and get to know the people and ask questions. And you might change your life, because now someone wants to hire you because they can see that you have a skill set. And they also have training because they know that you're new and they're willing to take you on. So you see how like little things can happen just by the motion. The motion, the intrigue, you know, it starts with the thought, and then taking action, and then actually applying what you know, and putting yourself in spaces that can accommodate your values or accommodate the value within you. You understand what I'm saying? No. Whatever. I'm to take control of my I understand. I understand what you're saying. I can understand how that's hard. Just be positive. That's the best thing you can do, because if it comes to something like that, Eleanor, you never know, you know, what the outcome is going to be. But when you're optimistic about an outcome, it's more likely to turn out good as opposed to bad. You know, so you be optimistic about it. And when it comes to family, you have to, I can't say you have to listen to them, but it's more so take in what they're saying to you, but it doesn't mean that you have to apply everything they say. And I feel like that's with anybody. You can listen to what somebody has to say, but you still do what you want to do. You know, like you do what you feel is right. You don't have to just do what they say. People always want to say something and not really doing much of anything, you know? So it's like, it's your life. People could say everything that they want to say. They could talk all day. But it's up to you to take ownership and be accountable and say, you know what? I like that part of what that person said, but I'm not going to do the other part because that doesn't resonate with me. Just because someone's giving you advice doesn't mean you have to take it all. You don't have to take it all if it doesn't apply to you. You don't have to take any of it if it doesn't apply to you. It really just depends on if it applies to you or not. Yeah, you just have to take time and, like I said, seek assistance. You know, where do you live, Eleanor? Where do you live in the world? What state are you in? When you seek assistance, right? And you just look up, you know, it's about not getting stuck. It's about doing research when you can't find your way. You know, it's really about doing research when you can't find your way. And the more research you do, and the more action you take, and the more questions you ask, you will receive an answer. Yes, that's what you do. You keep on looking and you keep on asking and being inquisitive, you know, and you put yourself in spaces that, oh, you're far. Oh, you on the other side of the, ooh, Australia. You see some kangaroos lately? Did you see kangaroos? I saw a kangaroo punch somebody in the face the other day. That was crazy. But it's going to be okay, Eleanor. You know, just be optimistic. Keep your energy as high as you can. And if you have to cry, give all of your tears to Spirit and let Spirit take your tears as a love offering. And tell them what you need. Tell them what you need and they will be there for you. Ooh, wallabies. A wallaby. That's funny. I like saying it because it feels funny coming out of my mouth. A wallaby. It makes me feel like I got a country voice. I'm gonna say wallaby. That's a funny thing to say. If you just say that like 10 times fast when you're sad, it might make you laugh. You can stop crying, right? But yeah, again, remember, when you do cry, he has a totem. Oh, I wonder what that looked like. But yeah, when you cry and tell Spirit, please take my tears as an offering of love, and please help me through these trying times because I need you. And you speak out loud and you keep taking action. Don't stop taking action. Don't stop taking action. When you stop taking action, that's when you have a problem. Okay? So remember this. Remember this. And just don't stop. Okay? All right. So I'm going to get off this live for now. And I'll be back. You know, I told you guys I'm going to do more lives now. So I shall return. Probably not today, because I wanna write for the rest of my time here. He's beautiful in the Kanga. Yeah, I wanna that's cool. I'm gonna write when I get off of here because I've been writing a book. Thank y'all. Ooh, Louis, you sound country. Thank y'all. Thank you for the love. Thanks for listening to me tell you guys about being great and making sure that you trust yourself, because I'm going to drill it into your brain cells until you adapt to the change of believing in oneself and not giving up on yourself. Okay? I'm going to zap you with the blinky thing that they had in Men in Black, but it's not going to make you forget. It's going to make you remember. Zap, zap. Wait, what do I have? Do I have the... Look, this is my zappy thing. Remember. Okay? Remember everything you need to remember so you can be on go. Because we don't have time for this no more. Okay? I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.